What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Strung Out. And we're going back to the 1996 album Suburban Teenage Wasteland Blues. And the next track is Better Days. I suppose it could be said by someone who is now experiencing better days after grueling ordeals or a long, difficult period in their life. But more likely, it seems to me, it's a phrase that someone would use when they're going through struggles, when they're experiencing setbacks or difficulties, as a way to keep themselves motivated or just to, stop from breaking down psycho-emotionally, to remind themselves that, on a long enough timeline, surely things will swing in a more positive favor, or at least in a less negative way. It sounds like a phrase that someone might use when they're enduring hardship, but they have it in mind that, given the probabilistic nature of outcomes in all different levels of life, eventually there will be better days. And so as a way to get through the hard times, one can perhaps pin that hope and, keep that inspiring idea in mind, and therefore to keep trying to move toward it and keep trying to manifest it. So that's what comes to mind when I see the title. Obviously, it might be related to a much more specific idea or storyline, but let's find out. This is Strung Out. The tune is Better Days, and it's the second track on their 1996 album Suburban Teenage Wasteland Blues. Sounded a little like propaganda right there. Catching bits and pieces of the lines. Interesting. Yeah, again, I was catching bits and pieces, 2 to 3 words in a sentence that was clearly 10, 12, 13, 15 words. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but it sounded both personal and larger, like I want to change the world and make better days on a larger level, but also I think there was like part of a line I heard that it sounded like he'd be surprised if he does get better days, so it maybe sounded like on a personal level he hasn't got as many of those as maybe he deserved, or he's still going through struggles now. Again, it felt like maybe it was operating on multiple levels and maybe both positively and negatively. Got to listen to that some more sonically, or lyrically. But once again, the speed, the precision. It's funny because in that very opening section, first 10 seconds or so, it was reminding me of mid-90s propaganda, like less talk, more rock propaganda. There was a moment later in the track where it was giving me a bit of no effects vibes, which again, when I make comparisons like this, I always worry because then people are like, well, I don't like that other band, so now that you've compared them to that other band, like, I don't think you're giving it a compliment. But when I make comparisons, generally, almost always, they are compliments in the sense that if you make me think of something good that another band has done, then obviously, you're hitting a good spot in my brain. So, yeah, there were a couple moments along the way where they were making me think of songs that I like from punk bands, specifically from both of those bands kind of in the 90s, like right around the time that this was out. So bottom line, yeah, thematically not quite sure what Better Days is, and all its nuances in the track, but yeah, their precision when playing, the speed. I did like the backing vocals, like I said. The lead vocals were great, but yeah, there was a moment near the end where it had this vocal depth to it because it was the lead but also those backing vocals as well. So yeah, another cool tune. Once again, shout out to Paulie for enabling this entire deep dive. Luca and I will see you next time. Peace.